Welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined by my co-host Joey Mullins, and this is the Week 4 college football pick'em. Joey, how we doing this week, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Work's over with. Football weekend time now.
You got your Carolina Tar Heels last week. Had a big win over North Carolina Central.
Yeah.
Omarion Hampton had over 200 yards rushing. They looked pretty good, but you got to consider the opponent. But 3-0, man's 3-0.
Yeah. 3-0's 3-0, man. They're rolling. Just hope they keep rolling. But games are gonna get tougher. Let's just hope they can keep up the steam. But we'll see.
Yeah, you were on the winning track on that one. My team, unfortunately, fell 1 point short to the Georgia Bulldogs last week in Lexington. We talked about it last week.
Man.
Kentucky, we thought they would show up. We thought they would play tough. Didn't think it'd be 1 point. But they gave it a good effort there and can't really be mad about them for that. Although there were some questionable calls that could have cost them the game. And not questionable – there were some questionable referee calls, but coaching decisions too for the Kentucky in that game that cost them, I think.
Big time.
Decision to punt the ball back to Georgia with 3 minutes left in the game. It's like, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this?
Still shaking my head about that. Still.
Running all over them, and then on second down you pass, third down you pass, and then fourth down you're like, I will punt. Come on.
Like what? Where did that come from?
Georgia player rips a Kentucky player's helmet off, and they call face mask on Kentucky. Targeting that wasn't called right before the half. There's a few plays here. And I'm sure Georgia fans may think that there was some plays for Kentucky too. I get it, but I wasn't really looking for that a whole lot. I just seen what I seen that in. And man, it's disappointing. You could have beat the number one team after a horrible performance against South Carolina. You could have bounced back big time.
Would have been a huge win. Still the effort, and all that was still there, but like I said, it looked good on them. I don't know how to say it as a loss because of where they bounced back with a much better performance, much better effort against Georgia than South Carolina.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Well, we've went over both our teams and their performances last week.
Yep.
Last week, our performances on this pick'em here. Joey, you have any idea what your record might be? We had 18 games we picked last week. How do you think you did?
I'd say I missed 3.
You were 17-1 last week.
Ooh.
I was 16-2. The one game you missed, you picked Purdue to beat Notre Dame.
Wow. And Notre Dame got me again, man.
Notre Dame got you again. Man, I was going back and listening to it, and I'm like, man, oh my, he's getting all these right. Now, I'm 16-2. I did pretty good myself. I went with Arizona over Kansas State, and I picked Tulane over Oklahoma. Tulane played them close, and then he was like, I got to roll with Purdue on this one. And I was like, oh, man, almost perfect. But, man, you can't beat 17-1. That's great.
Can you imagine a money line, man?
Well,
it's been a hell of a money line bet.
There was a couple of, we had a money line bet last week that won. 13-legger parlay, so,
Yep.
But I got a feeling this week may be a little bit harder to do the money lines. There may be a little, closer matchups than what it was last week. But we'll see. Let's get into it, man. First matchup of the week, Friday night game. A top 25 matchup. Once again, man, this is 2 weeks in a row. Fox has gotten top 25 matchup. The Illinois Fighting Illini, 24 in the nation, travel to Lincoln, Nebraska to face the number 22 Nebraska Cornhuskers. Nebraska's a 7.5-point favorite. Over-under's 42.5. Joey, do you think little Patrick Mahomes, as they're calling him, will lead Nebraska to a victory, or do you like Illinois in an upset?
I like Nebraska in this one. They're at home. I like Nebraska. The over-under, 42.5. That's a tough one. Nebraska is usually a slower-paced team, but I don't know about the over-under. I don't know if we're keeping records on those, but I'm gonna leave the over under kind of questionable, but yeah, give me Nebraska and give me Nebraska to cover the 7.
Only last week beat Kansas, or the week before beat Kansas. Kansas faced, went to Illinois and played them. That was a top 25 matchup there too. Illinois has improved. Nebraska, I think they're kind of back. Maybe not back to their glory, but
Almost.
they're kind of back. The quarterback they've got, like they said, little Patrick Mahomes. He's wearing 15. He's got the same haircut, trying to look just like him, throwing out there kind of some throws like Mahomes. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but he's just a freshman. I like Nebraska in this one too. I think that they cover, and I think that the over is barely going to get hit. I think it's going to be kind of a defensive battle. I think these teams are going to want to run the ball and play some defense. But give me Nebraska to win. I think Nebraska covers. I just think that they're the better team right now, especially at home. Good Friday night matchup for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The first matchup on Saturday, 12 o'clock. Fox, the big noon kickoff. The Marshall Thundering Herd traveled to Columbus to face the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State had the week off last week. Ohio State is a 40-point favorite. The over-under is 52.5. Joey, you think the Thundering Herd have a shot at the Horseshoe this weekend?
No, not a shot. Not even a slim chance. Ohio State, I don't know if they'll cover that 40-point spread. They may. I mean, I think Marshall's going to play. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be – I don't see it being 50-0, but I see Marshall maybe getting a couple field goals or something. But, yeah, give me Ohio State. 52.5 is the over or under. I mean, Ohio State can score that themselves. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to roll with it. Give me Ohio State to cover and give me the over. I'm going to roll with them.
Somebody who spent some summers in, not summers, but, I mean, we'd go to Huntington, West Virginia, like, every year for the mall and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's about all they've got there in Huntington. But did you see what Marshall's coach said earlier this week about Ohio State players? He's like, I would love to have them come to Marshall. He's like, they can have all the Tudor's biscuits that they want. Unlimited Tudor's biscuits if they come to Marshall. So he's like,
unlimited biscuits.
Unlimited biscuits. It's like, man, do you want that money or do you want them unlimited biscuits? And I'm like, man, he might have me right there. I may go, to Marshall.
I like some biscuits.
I like me some biscuits, yeah. I don't know how, the guys in Columbus feel about it. Probably not, probably not going to sway too many recruits there, but I like to give it A for effort for the guy.
Yeah.
But 40 points is a lot. Ohio State's coming off a bye. Will Howard and them guys were getting it going last week. Give me Ohio State to win this one. I think they cover, and I like the over in this because, Marshall a couple years ago, they went to Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame, at Notre Dame. They're not doing that with Ohio State this year. They'll, like you said, they'll score a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be a beatdown. I don't even think it's going to be too respectable. Give me the Buckeyes in this one. The next 12 o'clock matchup on ABC, the North Carolina State Wolfpack travel to Clemson to face the 21-ranked Clemson Tigers. Clemson's an 18.5-point favorite. The over-under is 44.5. Joey, what do you think about this one?
This one's going to be a little more competitive than Ohio State Marshall. Clemson, I don't know. I'm still kind of rocky on Clemson. I don't know, how solid they are. And NC State can play. But Clemson is at home. Give me Clemson in this one. Give me the under in this one. The under 44.5. And I'm going to say give me NC State to cover their spread. That's why I'm rolling with this one.
Clemson comes back into the top 25 after starting the year in the top 25 and getting demolished by Georgia. Georgia beat them, pretty handily, 34-3 in the first game. And then Clemson's kind of come back the last couple. They put a beat down on App State last week. But was App State really that good? Or not? Because App State just got crushed last night to – who did they play? Alabama.
South Alabama, yep.
South Alabama. So, I mean, that's not really the best right
No.
there. North Carolina State, on the other hand, they've struggled with Western Carolina this year. They struggled with Tennessee. Tennessee just absolutely pounded them, but Tennessee has been pounding everybody they've played. With that being said, I think that Clemson, they're an 18.5-point favorite. I like Clemson to win this. I like NC State to cover. And give me the under on this one as well. So I'm rolling with Clemson in this one. So that's all I have to say about that, as Forrest Gump would say.
Yeah.
The next matchup, we travel to the SEC for a 12:45 matchup, and we also travel outside of the top 25 for this one. The Ohio Bobcats travel to Kroger Field to face the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky's a 20-point favorite. The over-under is 41.5. Joey, you think Kentucky bounces back from that Georgia loss to get a win this week?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If they can come back with that defensive effort, that intensity, absolutely. I see it be a big bounce back win for them. Again, like I said, that was just kind of heartbreaking. You know, you had the number one team right there, right in the palm of your hand, and just couldn't quite get over the hump. But yeah, give me Kentucky to win, Kentucky to cover.
Kentucky to win. I think Kentucky will cover this week. They haven't scored a touchdown since week 1. That definitely has to change. If that doesn't change this week, look out, because that's not good at all. You got to start getting some points on the board. Got to get some touchdowns in there. So I like Kentucky to win this, bounce back. Oh, this is a good game for Kentucky to kind of get a break from that schedule that they've got. Throw one of these teams in.
Yeah.
41.5. Give me the over on this one. Give me Kentucky to cover it. I like the Wildcats here. Well, I was going to say that anyway, but I like them to win that. Next matchup, I think I did this last week. The Arkansas State, I want to say Wolves, some sort of Red Wolves, maybe. Oh. Travel to number 20 Iowa State to face Iowa State Cyclones. Iowa State's a 21.5-point favorite. The over-under is 51.5. Joey, Iowa State beat Iowa a couple weeks ago. You like them to continue their momentum and against the Red Wolves here, we'll call them. I think they're the Red Wolves.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just give me Iowa State. They're at home. It's hard to beat a decent team at home. Not saying it can't happen. But yeah, give me Iowa State. 51.5. Give me the over. And give me Iowa State to cover. I think Iowa State will cover their 21-point spread.
Like Iowa State in this one, too. They're coming off of that win, like I said, against the Hawkeyes a couple of weeks ago. They had a week off, and then they come back this week. I don't think Arkansas State's going to have anything for them. The spread, man. Give me Iowa State to cover, but give me the under in this one. I think Iowa State will win by at least 21, but I don't think they'll get over 51. He's on ESPN Plus, and tickets are $22 if anybody's interested.
$22. Go down and watch Iowa pound Arkansas State.
Yeah. The next matchup, speaking of teams taking a pounding, the Kent State Golden Flashes travel to Pennsylvania to face the number 10 Penn State Nittany Lions. Penn State's a 49-point favorite. The over-under is 55.5. Joey, last week Tennessee was up 65-0 at halftime against Kent State. Do you think Kent State does any better this week against Penn State?
No. Nope. Give me Penn State to cover. Give me the over. Penn State to win. Probably have the over in the first half, and probably have their spread covered in the first half. Kent State just. It's like David versus Goliath, man. It's and Tennessee wasn't calling off the dogs either. I mean, they just kept the hammer down, son.
They were not calling off the dogs at all. They just kept coming, and onside kicking, and man, uh,
Yeah.
it's brutal. It was brutal, and I think this week's going to be
Mm-hmm.
more of the same. It's kind of embarrassing, you got a team out there trying to play major college football, and they give up a performance like that in one half. Give me Penn State to win this. 49 is the spread, so if they cover the spread, the over's hitting because it's 55.5. I
Yeah.
think they'll come out. I think they'll pound them too. This may be one where you put player props on Penn State in a bet and roll with it because they're going to get theirs. You might even
Yep.
put their third stringer guys in there and win those bets too. It's ridiculous how it's going to be, but give me Penn State for all of it.
All of it.
The next matchup, we're going to travel back out to the top 25. 12 o'clock matchup. The James Madison, man, I knew this. James Madison team travels to Chapel Hill to face the North Carolina Tar Heels. Carolina's only a 10.5 point favorite. The over-under is 48.5. Joey, do you think your Tar Heels will handle the James Madison Dukes? There we go.
Yeah, give me Omari and Hampton to cover everything, and I mean he is the heartbeat of the team. Yeah, I think Carolina will cover it. They're at home. They always play pretty well at home. Yeah, yeah. Give me Carolina to cover, Carolina to win, and give me the over. Give me the over. I think Omari Hampton has another big game, another 100+ rushing yard game.
Madison last year went undefeated in the regular season. They're undefeated so far this season. Carolina is too. Give me Carolina in this one. I think, like you said, Omarion Hampton's gonna turn out a bunch of yards again. They're gonna ride that horse all year, which is what they should do with the loss of their Max Johnson. Even if they had Max Johnson, they probably should just run that horse, Omarion Hampton, all year long. And why not ride him again this time? 10.5 is the spread. Give me the Carolina to cover, and I'll take that over. Give me the over on that one too. So Carolina all the way. 3:30 matchup. We jump back into the top 25 with a battle of two top 25 teams. Number 11 USC Trojans and Miller Moses, Miles Moss, whatever we called him. It's Miller Moses. Miller Moss. It's Miller Moss. And the USC Trojans travel to the Big House to face number 18 Michigan Wolverines. USC is a 4.5 point favorite over the defending national champs. 43.5 is the over-under. Joey, do you like USC here on the road?
I do. Yep, I do. Like them on the road. I mean, they're both good teams, and honestly, this is, in my eyes, a pretty even matchup. Even wherever they play, they could play anywhere, neutral field. I just think it's an even matchup. But yeah, give me USC to cover that, and give me the under 47.5 in this one. I think this is going to be a defensive game. There's going to be touchdowns scored, but points are not just. Where both teams are so good, defenses are good. I think give me the under.
I'm going to disagree with you here on one thing. I think that Michigan probably isn't very good this year. I don't know. They might be, but I just feel like they're on for a big letdown of a year with Harbaugh leaving. They won the title last year. Haven't looked so good so far this year. Texas pounded them earlier this year. But Texas is another animal we'll talk about later. USC, on the other hand, surprising. I think, new quarterback, Miller Moss taking over for Caleb Williams. He won't run the ball. We know that. He's not going to take off and scramble. Trust me on that. I think USC wins. I think USC covers. Give me the under, though. I do like the defensive battle part of it, but I just don't think Michigan's what they were last year or the last few years at all.
No, you're right. They've kind of got in my mind. They're like a question mark, like Clemson. Clemson's another question mark team. Like it's still a little early. You can't really say they're going to be solid teams or not. still got that question mark on both those teams.
Head to the next 3:30 matchup, and the UCLA Bruins travel to Baton Rouge to face the number 16 LSU Tigers. LSU's a 22.5-point favorite. The over-under is 56.5. Joey, do you like LSU to win this game, or UCLA, who has struggled, who lost to Indiana last week?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say UCLA's in struggle city right now. Yeah, give me LSU. LSU everything to cover, and give me the 56.5. I don't know. That's kind of iffy. Give me the under in that one. Give me the under. I think LSU will cover their 22.5-point spread, but I don't know about the almost 60 points. I don't know. It could happen.
So this is another one where you want to put player props on LSU. 22.5 is a lot of points. UCLA is not good at all. Give me LSU to win this one. Nussmeier and them, he may throw for 400 yards in this game. Or maybe he throws for 200 and they take him out because they're ahead by so much. It's at home, 56.5. Oh, man. I'll take the under, too, because I just think LSU is going to pound UCLA, but UCLA I don't think is going to score much on them. So, yeah, LSU covers, under hits, and LSU wins outright. Matchup, 3:30. The Miami, Ohio Redhawks travel to Notre Dame to face the number 17 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Notre Dame's a 28-point favorite. The over-under is 43.5. Joey, 2 weeks ago, a team from the MAC defeated Notre Dame at Notre Dame. Do you think Miami, Ohio has a shot to do the same?
No, and they better not, because if Notre Dame lets me down again, and this is the only one I miss, then I may have to ban Notre Dame from any of my bet slips from here on out. I think Notre Dame will win. They'll cover, and the over hits 43.5. I mean, the spread's 28, so yeah. Come on, Notre Dame. Don't do it to me again.
The difference in Notre Dame losing 2 weeks ago and Notre Dame this week, Northern Illinois is a better team than Miami, Ohio. Miami, Ohio has been down for several years in the MAC. Northern Illinois, they're building up a little like mid-major football program over there. Notre Dame last week come out and they pounded Purdue. I think I said on here, I don't really trust Riley Leonard as a quarterback. I still don't think he's very good. But I think this week they've learned from their past mistakes against the smaller schools, and I think that they'll win. I think that they cover, and I think that the over hits in this one. Give me Notre Dame. Give me Notre Dame big. It's 3:30 matchup. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at 3-1 travel to number 19 Louisville to face the Louisville Cardinals. Louisville's a 10.5-point favorite. 57.5 is the over/under. Joey, are you liking this ACC matchup?
You know, I'm not gonna pick this as an upset, but I could see this being an upset. You know, it would not shock me one bit if Georgia Tech did squeak out a single-digit win against Louisville. It would not shock me. I wouldn't be looking at my phone and be like, "Oh my gosh," you know. But give me Louisville to win the game as my official prediction. But give me the Georgia Tech spread. I think it's going to be a close one. That's just what I think. It might not be, but I don't know. It's going to be a little competitive game.
Love at this point to pick Georgia Tech to win this game, but Georgia Tech, they started out the season, they beat Florida State, and people's like, hey, maybe Georgia Tech's a team here. And then we found out that Florida State is absolute garbage. I hate Louisville. There's no secret there. But for this purpose, give me the Louisville Cardinals to win. Give me Georgia Tech to cover that, though. And I think the over's hitting on this 57.5 points. But give me the stinking Louisville Cardinals to win. Next matchup, 3:30. I hate even saying it. Yeah. Need to go wash my mouth out now, I feel like. The last 3:30 matchup that we have, it's on ESPN Plus. The Buffalo Bulls, 2-1, travel to DeKalb, Illinois, to face the newly minted top 25, number 23, Northern Illinois. Oh man, I got it wrong last week. Huskies. Northern Illinois is a 13.5-point favorite. Their 43.5 is the over/under. Joey, do you like Northern Illinois in their first week as a top 25 team to continue their winning ways?
Absolutely, I absolutely do. And you're right, man. They're starting to build something there, and I think they've got the right coaching, right players, personnel around them. Yeah, give me Northern Illinois to cover the 13.5. 43.5, give me the over.
Northern Illinois here too. They're going to build off of that. They had a week off since they played Notre Dame last. I think that they'll cover that 13.5-point spread. This team's going to be fun here in a few weeks when Maction hits, and we can watch them on a Tuesday night and a Wednesday night and be like, hey, all right, we already know about this team. So
Yes.
Give me Northern Illinois for this. I like them. I like them to win that one. And the over, I think the over's hitting too. Matchup, we head to the Big 12. 4 o'clock, the number 12 Utah Utes, undefeated, against the number 14 Oklahoma State Cowboys. Oklahoma State's a 2.5-point favorite. 52.5 is the over/under. Joey, what do you think about this matchup between undefeated teams?
Give me Cam Rising and the Utah Utes to win the game, man. I think they're going to do it. I know Oklahoma State's at home. Cam Rising, man, he's when he's healthy, he's a great quarterback. But yeah, give me Utah in this one. The what was the over under? 52.5. I'll take that over. I'll take the over in that. But yeah, I think Utah's going to get it done.
They're expecting Cam Rising to come back and play against Oklahoma State. That could be a big key in this game for sure. Oklahoma State last week, put up a lot of yards, put up a lot of points against Tulsa. Struggled the week before against Arkansas, but beat them. Utah, they struggled last week against Utah State in the state championship of Utah. But that was without Cam Rising. This week, I think that I just can't trust Cam Rising to stay healthy, man. He's a seventh-year player. Give me the Cowboys in this one, and I think that Oklahoma State will pull off the win at home, and I think that they cover. And I like the over in this one too because they still haven't got Ollie Gordon going at running back. They passed the ball around a lot last week. He's one of the, as I said every week here, he's one of the top rushers returning, him with Omari and Hampton. Hampton's proved it so far. Gordon has not. I think maybe this is a game for him to step up and show what he's got. Give me the Cowboys in this one.
Well, I will have to say I agree with you there, but I know it's still going to count. My official pick is going to be Utah, but just between us, if Cam Rising don't play, then Oklahoma State's going to win. I think I'm like you. That's the big key for Oklahoma in this game, or Utah in this game. They have to have Cam Rising play, and he has to be healthy.
He's expected to play, but we just, I just don't trust his. He could go out there and Aaron Rodgers it on the fifth play of the series and be done for the game.
Oh wow!
The next, which Aaron Rodgers looked pretty good last night. I got to admit, but
well, he
like a young Aaron Rodgers.
But the Patriots
looked
also
really bad.
helped make him look that good too. So
yeah, that's true. The next matchup we have, we go to the SEC, and the Vanderbilt Commodores travel to Columbia, Missouri to face the number 7 Missouri Tigers. Missouri's a 20-point favorite. The over-under is 52.5. Joey, Missouri kind of struggled last week with Boston College. Do you think that there's any chance that Vandy pulls off an upset this week in Columbia?
No, I no. Give me Missouri to win this. I wouldn't be surprised here if Vanderbilt didn't cover the spread, because I think it is going to be a competitive game. I don't really see, a 40-point blowout in this one, but yeah, give me Missouri to win, Vandy spread, and then give me the over 52.5. I rolled
At
that.
The beginning of the year, Vandy beat one of your, mediocre ACC teams. I forgot who it was. Virginia Tech Chokies. That's who it was. Vandy has improved from last year. They got that quarterback Diego, New Mexico State, throwing the ball around pretty good. Last week they lost to Georgia State. Like, first off, why are you playing at Georgia State? Second off, come on.
Yeah,
but
really.
like I said, Missouri struggled a little bit last week with BC, but BC, I believe, is a pretty decent team from the ACC. So that's their upper tier ACC team, I think, right now. BC is. Missouri to win this one. Like Vandy to cover. I'm with you on that. And I think the over is going to hit because I think they're going to score some points in this game. Give me Missouri, though, for the win.
Pavia is his name.
Diego Pavia, that's it. Yes, you're right. He's a pretty decent little quarterback for Vandy. He'll keep them competitive, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The next matchup, we go to the ACC, and this is probably the top ACC team right now. The number 8 Miami Hurricanes travel to Tampa to face the South Florida Bulls. Yes, Bulls. I want to say Golden Bulls, but I don't know why. I think it's just the Bulls. Miami's a 17-point favorite. The over-under 65.5. Joey, Cam Ward looks like a Heisman candidate for Miami. You think that they continue their winning ways this week in Tampa?
Absolutely. I mean, looking at his stats, it's mind blowing. 1,035 yards and 11 touchdowns. I mean, my goodness, that's got Heisman wrote all over it. I mean, if he keeps that up, I mean, I don't see anybody catching him. But yeah, no chance for South Florida, none. I mean, and they got good receivers, and they got a good back too. I mean, they're gonna be tough. They're gonna be tough. Yeah, give me Miami to cover. Give me the over. Miami for everything, as you say.
Florida a couple weeks ago, they played Alabama tough for 3 quarters. Then Alabama pulled away. We thought, well, maybe Alabama's not the same. And then Alabama come out and pounded Wisconsin last week. Miami, man, Cam Ward transferring in from Washington State. He was a good quarterback last year. He's even better this year. Heisman candidate. This was like a 2-man race with, I believe, so far, with him and Quinn Ewers. With Ewers getting hurt, I think that's going to help Ward out even more. I expect him to have a big game this week. Man, he's throwing for like 300 yards a game through the first 3 games. I don't think that changes this week again. I think he does it again. Puts up a bunch of numbers. Miami wins. Miami covers. Miami over. All of it. Give me Miami, man. We travel to the SEC for the next matchup. This is another top 25 matchup. The number 6 Tennessee Volunteers travel to Norman, Oklahoma to face the number 15 Oklahoma Sooners. Tennessee's a 6.5-point favorite. The over-under is 56.5. Joey, what do you think about this top 25 matchup?
This one's going to be a game, man. This might be the game of the evening to watch right here. Man, this one's tough. I mean, Oklahoma's at home, but Tennessee, I mean, bad as I hate to admit it, man, they're in beast mode right now. They're one of those teams. They're just clicking. I know. I know you hate it. I know it. And I can't even really pronounce their quarterback's name. I mean, I just call him
Nico.
La. His last name. But
I just go with Nico.
Yeah, Nico. Yeah, I mean, I know you don't like to hear it, but I'm going to give me Tennessee in this game, but give me the Oklahoma spread. I think it's going to be a competitive game. It's going to come down to who makes the couple big plays in the fourth quarter to come away with the win. That's how I feel about this one. And give me the over, 56.5. Give me the over. Both teams can score.
Give me Tennessee to win this one. Give me Tennessee to cover. I think Tennessee pounds Oklahoma, and the over is going over on this one. Next matchup, we got a 7:30 matchup. The Bowling Green Golden Eagles, maybe, I don't know, travel to College Station to face the number 25 Texas A&M Aggies. If you couldn't tell on that last game, I just really don't want to talk about it. It's bad right now. I really don't care to talk much about it. So you may have turned the audio up on that one. Texas A&M's a 22.5-point favorite. The over-under is 51.5. Joey, you like Bowling Green to pull off an upset here, or? Huh?
I do not. Give me Texas A&M to cover. Give me the over. Give me all of it. Texas A&M. I don't see Bowling Green has no shot in my book here.
Texas A&M enters back into the top 25 after losing the first week to Notre Dame. A game that, you thought would have been more competitive that first game of the year, but it really wasn't. I like Texas A&M in this one too. Man, 22.5 is a lot, but I don't think Bowling Green's very good. I mean, that's one of those lower MAC schools. We'll be watching them in the action here in a few weeks, and they'll be like, 51.5 is a lot. Give me the under on that one, but I think Texas A&M wins it. Next matchup, 7:45 matchup. The Georgia Southern Eagles. Are they the Eagles?
I think so.
Travel to Oxford, Mississippi to face the number 5 Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss is a 34.5-point favorite. The over-under is 67.5. Joey, Georgia Southern have a shot?
Nope. Ole Miss for everything. Like I said, we talked about it. Some of these matchups are going to be predictable, but there's a few in this top 25 that's going to be interesting, but this is not one of them. I think it's a landslide. Ole Miss all the way.
I think it's a landslide. Have you been afraid of changes because you built your life around Carolina? But time makes you bolder. Even children get older. And you're getting older, too.
I'm getting older, too.
Anyways, I like give me Ole Miss in this, man. Jackson Dart throws for, I don't know, 1 billion yards in this game probably. It throws darts. His line's probably going to be 400. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. Man, this is another player prop game right here. If you alternate some of these player props, you're going to win on this. Parrish Jr., Harris for the wide receiver. Ole Miss, man, they just got a lot of firepower, and Lane Kiffin's going to want to put the pedal to the metal in this again because he always wants to.
That's how he is, man.
And if you do it against, it's against a smaller team, so he's definitely going to do it here too. Give me Ole Miss to cover, and I think the over hits in this one because most Ole Miss games hit the over. Next matchup, the Louisiana Monroe. It's some sort of bird. I don't know. I don't know. War Eagles. Probably not. Oh, it's not War Eagles, man. Anyways, they travel to Austin, Texas to face the newly minted number 1 Texas Longhorns. Texas is a 44-point favorite. The over-under is 52.5. Joey, what do you think about Texas without Quinn Ewers? But they do have a backup in this game, unlike what he said in the commercial.
Man, in this game, that they don't need Quinn Ewers, even if he wasn't hurt. I mean, it doesn't matter. They could probably pick somebody out of the stands and give them a 5-minute rundown of their playbook. And Texas is just good, man. With Quinn Ewers healthy, I don't see anybody beating them in my book, the way they're playing right now. I mean, yeah, give me Texas for everything. Spread, give me the over. What do you think? I mean, what do you think without Ewers? I mean, against this team, but what about without Ewers for some of these other games they're going to have him, do you think?
Well, I mean, they've probably got the best backup quarterback in college football in Arch Manning back there. I mean, he's got the genes to be a good quarterback. He's got two pretty good uncles that played, NFL football and won some Super Bowls.
They were decent.
They were decent, What was their names? Peyton and Eli or Levi or something like that, right? One of them Manning guys. Anyways, like last week when he came in and played Peyton Manning, yeah. Oh, man, those commercials. But, like, he showed off some wheels, though. Neither one of them uncles had those wheels that he had. He took off running, got that rushing touchdown. I think he threw for, like, 4 touchdowns last week after yours went out. So, I mean, not really much of a drop-off there with yours. I mean, yours is obviously the better quarterback right now, but they're not losing a whole lot with Arch Manning being in there. And I don't think that game plan changes a whole lot with him in there. Don't know how long yours is going to be out. But, man, I think Texas is going to be just fine. And, man, there's, so many games in the SEC that they'll be playing later on in the season that's going to be like, hey, this is going to be a good game right here. Give me the Longhorns in this one. Give me Texas to cover. I like the over in this one, too, because I think that they're going – actually, give me the under. I think it's going to be like 52-0. Barely under. Barely cover.
Should we go to our bet slip and predict the score in that game? 52-0?
Yeah, 52-0. Just make sure we put the even number ones in there, right? That's all we got. Yeah. Just add that to the bet slip. Even. The next matchup we got, the last top 25 matchup of the week, number 13, Kansas State Wildcats travel to Provo, Utah to face the undefeated BYU Cougars. K-State's a 7-point favorite. The over-under is 48.5. Joey, do you think Avery Johnson, who used to play point guard in the NBA, will lead Kansas State to a victory this week on the road?
Oh, this is another tough game. You know what? This is the game that I was waiting on. It's a late game, but give me BYU in this one at home. Give me BYU. This is the game I was looking through the slate, and I'm like, that's probably going to be my upset game. And I've been thinking about it the whole time we've been doing the podcast, and I think, give me BYU in this one. I think they're going to take it at home.
And I was going to roll with BYU as an upset pick too, actually, when I was looking at it. But I don't know, man. Avery Johnson and those guys over at K-State, like, he runs that ball like a running back out there. He's got the long hair flowing out there and,
Fabio hair.
Yeah, I thought last week that Arizona was going to give them a much better game. But, man, Kansas State came out and they pretty much took it to him, and he was one of the main reasons. I like for that to continue this week. I think that Kansas State wins. Give me a BYU cover, though, on the road. This is going to be close. It's going to be a good one to end the weekend top 25 matchups. But I like K-State to win. And the over under 48.5. Give me the over on that one. I'll take the over. And that's the top 25. But what game do we always pick? What team do we always pick, whether they're top 25 or not? It's Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. 8 o'clock, they host the Baylor Bears. Colorado's a 2-point favorite. The over-under is 51.5. Joey, what do you think about Coach Prime and the boys this week at home?
I think they're going to give me Coach Prime at home. Give me Coach Prime. Give me Shadur to have 300, 350. I don't think he's going to go for no 400-yard game, but give me 300 yards from him. Give me Travis Hunter anytime touchdown. Give me Travis Hunter yards. And Travis Hunter pick. There you go. Yes, Travis Hunter, yep. And there's your little 3-leg parlay for anybody watching that wants to put that in. I mean, that's
This week I would throw in Jimmy Horn receiving yards. He did not have very good of a game last week. Look for him to bounce back this week. I think that he'll get his line on that. Give me Colorado to win this game. They're covering, of course. It's just 2 points. And I like the over in this one. And Colorado gets their 3rd win of the year. And we could still keep Coach Prime relevant here for a few more weeks, at least on the podcast.
Yeah. And also in that, give me Jimmy Horn for anytime touchdown. I think it's going to be a bounce-back game for him. He's going to show up.
There we go. So that's it with the top 25 and our teams. Plus, we throw in Colorado for the picks this week, man. We'll see if you can continue your hot streak, maybe improve on it. Undefeated, maybe. You did go with Notre Dame. Man, we got to watch that Notre Dame game just to see if they're going to prove you right or prove you wrong again.
I know. Had a good week last week. That's not bad. Only missing one.
Yeah, I just missed 2.
Not bad for you. You just missed 2.
Yeah. I'll say that's a pretty good week. And I look at yours, I'm like, well, that's even better. What do you think about? They're talking right now about Rodgers and the coach of the Jets. Did you see this last night? He's going to the
I
sideline.
yeah.
He's trying to give Rodgers a hug, and Rodgers pushes him away. And they're like, "What was up with the awkward conversation or the awkward hug?" And he's like, "Well, he's not a big hugger. He likes to smack you in the chest and tell you 2-score lead." He said, "So when he come up to hug me, I smacked him in the chest and said 2-score lead." And I was like, "You guys are weird."
Telling me about it, dude. Like, golly, can't you just tag hands and be like, good job? And then the stare down by Rodgers. I mean, it's like, it's like weird.
Yeah, that was just, man, horrible Thursday night game right there. And it's baffling that Patriots beat our Bengals in the week 1.
But, man, the Patriots' offensive line, my goodness. I know they're young, but, geez. You gotta give props to Brissett for even standing in there trying to throw passes. Because, I mean, he could have got obliterated a few times and hurt. But, man, yeah, it was terrible.
And I think that's probably why Brissett's got the job, because he doesn't want to get Drake May killed in his rookie season, It makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't blame him at all, but it's just
Drake May's going to be all right. He's going to get his opportunities. He's going to get his opportunities over the next few years, and I see him being a franchise quarterback. Not like a Brett Favre or Peyton Manning or nothing like that, but I'm talking about a decent anchor quarterback for a team here in the next 2 or 3 years. I think he'll be fine.
Where did Tez Walker go in the draft? Did he go? He went drafted, didn't he?
Honestly, I don't even remember. I know that's bad. I'm a Carolina fan and don't remember, but.
Well, it's like Kentucky players. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know where they went. He's a Raven. He's a Raven.
That ain't good.
No, we don't like that.
No.
Don't like that at all.
Nope.
Man,
Or a Steeler.
Yeah. Or Brown.
Don't want to be a Steeler. Or Brown.
No. Flush them down. Oh, man. Well, that'll be it for the week 4. Week 4 college football, man. Yeah. We're a quarter of the way through. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have extra football at the end of this season, which is great because of the college football playoff. It'll give us at least 3 or 4 more weeks of football. And it's always good when you get 3 or 4 more weeks of football in the season.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Man, we'll wrap it up here, and we'll see you all next week. Yelling from the couch. Later.
See ya.